Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I'm a divine channeler, medium, remote spirit extractor, white witch, and divine alchemist. And I also happen to be a divine twin flame on the path to reunion. I hope that for those of you who celebrated 4th of July, that it was a good one. I have my patriotic fairy wings behind me, which I just had to get. We also happen to have a cosmic event, okay, and we're in that energy. So the full moon, lunar eclipse, and Capricorn, all about practicality, everything earth-based, career-oriented, health, practical matters, making your mark on the world, all those types of things. So lots of changes coming up. And, I love that the lunar eclipses and all the events, they give us a chance to transform. And even though, of course, it's very, very difficult, it's always a good thing to keep growing, keep evolving, so that we can step closer to becoming our best versions of ourselves, right? Because we're here to do that, and then we're here to serve others. So kudos to all of you who have been doing so much work on your journeys. I completely see you. And for those of you who I've worked with in personal readings, it's been such a pleasure, such an honor. And I'm so glad that everyone's been so happy and they've been referring people as well. Shouts out to Vinita Kumar, who runs the Twin Flame Union Group. And thank you so much. I really appreciate all the people that you've been referring, and everyone's been so happy. And for anyone else who has referred, thank you. Many thanks. So grateful. I just love to be able to help people. So the readings that I do are without tarot cards, no oracle cards. It's all very straight psychic mediumship and divine channeling. I can speak to the angels, to your guides, quite directly and hear them back. See, all those different things. And as a psychic medium, I'm able to connect with those on the other side, loved ones in spirit. So it's just been really fantastic to be able to give people more clarity, more direction, help people to work through their healing. It's just, wow, this just really, honestly, there's no words. So thank you so much, and thank you so much, my subscribers. I appreciate and love you all. So today's video, I don't want to keep that long. I really don't. But I feel like it's very important subject matter having to do with the confusion with communication between twins. So if you are a twin flame, listen up. I know this has been very confusing and very frustrating for my twin flame clients as to what to think, what to believe when there's a very erratic communication, even no communication, and what's truly going on there. But especially more focused on when there is, communication that's up and down, not constant, persons going back and forth, they're seemingly contradicting themselves or are contradicting themselves. You're feeling perhaps up and down, they're feeling up and down or back and forth, or, you're trying to understand where they're coming from and you can't, and you're just seeing no hope, no way out of this situation. What's going on? Do I need to get off this path? Do I need to go date others? What do? I can't take it anymore. Please help, Liz. That sort of thing. So I've been recognizing that with my twins, this has been a big one here, where the awakened twin will have their hopes up again, that things are going to be different this time, right? And the communication and the reactions of their counterpart seems to go back into the other direction, right? They were doing so good. We were doing so good. And then the eclipse came. Then the Mercury retrograde came, then the solstice came, then the Lion's Gate came, all those types of things. Things were doing okay, right? And then you have these huge surges of energy to help us transform, and wow, what's going on? I thought I had a handle on it, but I guess I don't, right? So if you are an authentic twin flame, and there are so many authentic divine twin flames, watch my channel, you know what I'm talking about. And it gets to be very exhausting. And how do I perceive it? How do I handle it? So what's really important to remember, to shed light on, is that your twin flame and yourself, of course, are literal mirrors of each other. As I've always mentioned, I even did a video specifically on that. So you're going to mirror positive, negative, good and bad traits, all of those things. You're going to mirror the most beautiful intensity, right? A lot of people have the bubble phase, and you can have more than one bubble phase where everything seems fantastic. My God, I never felt so great my entire life. You know, I'm hearing love songs on the radio, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, me and my twin. And all that. And things are going great. And all of a sudden, something happens, like say an event, cosmic event, and your twin flame is back to the old ways. Your twin flame is communicating with you from an angry place. So all of a sudden, they're coming at you with excuses. They're coming at you with all these reasons why this can't work, or they're not the right person for you, or that they just can't seem to commit, or they're, you know, maybe judging you, saying, oh, you're the one that's ruining my life. You're the one that's, you know, that's this way or that way. And then you're reacting, right? You're reacting, and you're getting hurt, and you're coming from a place of like, wow, my twin flame is being mean to me, and maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not as good enough as their karmic or some other person that they're dating. Perhaps I can't measure up, and then you have all of your shortcomings coming up. What's really there to realize is that when you're communicating from that place, this is what I refer to as communicating from a purging place. You're communicating from illusion. You're both projecting illusion and then illusion. We have illusion, and we are getting triggered by illusion, and we have more illusion. It's magnified illusion because we have the mirrors. And so where does the truth lie in that is what we need to find that. We need to discover that. What's really behind that? What's underneath that? As a matter of fact, what's underneath that? And when you're communicating in a lower vibration like that, what's really happening is that all that stuff, all those old beliefs, all those stories, all that hurt and pain, all those wounds from the past are coming up from the subconscious, coming up to the conscious, and that's where the person is reacting from. That's where they're coming from consciously. And remember too that you're relating at the personality level as well as the soul level. So we have the soul level, of course, because you're both the same frequency. But then you also have the fact that you have personalities that developed from your environment, from your experiences, from your histories, and that will really dictate how you deal with things at the personality level. Are you one that gets fired up right away, you know, boils and just explodes? Are you someone that just gives the silent treatment? Are you someone that just disappears anytime there's confrontation because you don't like confrontation? Are you someone that is very aggressive and gets into so much confrontation when you're really unsettled inside? So, you know, there's all different coping mechanisms too, and that's something to think about when we possibly get caught up in judging our other, you know, your person. They're you and you're them. So although you're different at the personality levels, you are still the same soul. You're still the same at the soul level. Personality is what throws a lot of people off. But it's also the fact, too, is that when someone is having all that stuff come up for release, a lot of times they're going to come off in a mean way, or they're going to come off very cold, or missing in action and went MIA, or they're going to block you. They'll block you any way they can, right? They'll block you in the physical. They'll block you on social media. Oh my gosh, my twin blocked me. Is this over? Elizabeth, is this over? Please let me know. I want to speak to my angels, to the archangels. Please tell me they're going to tell me to just, move on. Well, they're going to tell you to move on. They're going to tell you to move on. And the reason why is because they're not going to recommend in the highest good to stay in that stuck energy, in that negative vibe. So it's not about giving up on the journey and saying, hey, I'm not a twin anymore, because once a twin, you're always a twin. Once connected to that person, you're always connected to that person, to that soul, as a matter of fact. It's an energetic connection at its core. But if you're caught up in the erratic communication and you're projecting onto the other, they more than likely, they're speaking, they're reacting, their personality is coping with coming from a conscious, it's coming from a conscious place really of wounds. You know, like, well, actually, let me just kind of clarify that a little bit more. They may not be exactly aware of where those angers are coming from. They may not exactly be aware of the details as to why they feel that way and why they're in that type of mood or why they're putting it on you. They may not. Some of them may. But the thing is that it's coming up from the subconscious to the conscious to come out. It's for them to navigate it. Just like it's for you also, when you get triggered by those really difficult communications, for you to navigate it as to why you're angry at your twin, why they're not doing what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Why is your twin not sticking around? Why is your twin, why are they still with the karmic? Why is the twin still blocking you? Why is the twin still involved in their addictions and their habits and their self-sabotaging or self-destructive behaviors? Why can't they just do what they're supposed to do? What I want them to do? And even though it may come from a place where you're caring about them, that's the thing, you want them well. The thing is that we get really triggered and we get into that fury and into that resentment because your twin is not doing what you want them to do, which is it's coming from a place of wanting to control them. Nonetheless, it really is. It's also coming from a conditional place, and this is all about unconditional. So if your twin is going through something that's very difficult and it's very hard for you to be exposed to it, then do all you can to be able to pull your energies back. Do what you can. I've talked about boundaries recently, to set those boundaries, healthy boundaries, for yourself to flourish and move on, not to give up on the journey. That's not what I'm recommending. That's not what your team would recommend, or the archangels or source would recommend. But it's to be able to take that energy and get it out of the mud. Right? Anyone seen the movie My Cousin Vinny? With the tires get stuck in the mud and they just keep turning and turning and turning. One of my favorite comedies. Comment below. My Cousin Vinny, with Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei. The Alabama tires keep spinning and spinning in the mud. Right? Not going to help. They're delved into, nosedived into all of that mud, right? They're in that, you can call it the mud, in the quicksand, in the trenches, whatever you want to call it. But one of you guys, because you guys are connected, one of you guys has to be able to shift this energy, or it's going to stay in that mud. It's going to stay in that quicksand. It's going to stay in the mess, right? So if things are messy communication-wise, complete messy, or they're MIA, and you're not sure what's going on there, lots is going on there. They're going through learning. They're going through a time where transformation is really here for them. But the communication itself may trigger your ego to think that this person doesn't want you. You don't want them. Okay? And it's not that you don't want your twin, your twin is always going to be your best counterpart, they're your counterpart, they're your partner. They are your counterpart. What you really don't want are all of those illusions, all of the ego stuff, all of that really negative stuff that they're taking on. That's where they're reacting from, that's where they're acting from. That's where their decisions are coming from. They're coming from that place. So for the awakened twin, do what you can for yourself. Do what you can to see why you're mad. Do what you can just to take a look at why you reacted to your twin in that way. What did they show you? Because you're always showing things with a mirror. It's never about pointing the finger at the twin and judging the twin and things like that, as I've talked about. So what has that communication said to you about what you're possibly holding on to? What perception? What thought pattern? What self-sabotaging stories and beliefs? Right? Your twin may be actually getting mad at you or cursing you out, and they're coming from a place of having low self-esteem because maybe they have been bullied when they were younger, or maybe they had abusive parents. Maybe they were always told by their dad that they weren't good enough. Maybe the kids laughed at your twin. And here they are, they're going through a release period and having that garbage come up, and so now they're projecting, they're coming at you. Their personality is also dealing with that, those thoughts, those stories. That pain is what they're expressing. And your pain is coming up out of you, and then you're expressing it out and projecting it to them. And we have this. We have this and this and this and this, and we have a storm. So some things to think about. And for twins that say, hey, you know what? I don't want my twin. I can't see them ever getting better. I've had clients where we've had reading sessions, and we clarified so much of why things are happening the way they're happening. And this is why, because these are still the energy centers of the chakras. These are still the themes that are coming up. These are still the wounds that are there. These are still the archetypes that are there. And we clarified those things. And, I would give some tools and prayers, and still, the ego would be holding on for dear life. I don't know. I don't see how it could work with my twin. I don't see how this is going to get better. I don't see how we're ever going to get to where we need to get to when they have these types of problems or these types of patterns, these types of addictions. I can't see it happen. Of course, you're not going to see it happening. There's still more healing that needs to take place. It's not about, you're looking at the other end of things constantly and looking for that person to act accordingly. This is a journey of self-mastery. It's what is that mirroring over to you? What types of patterns or behaviors are still plaguing you? How are you selling yourself short or not seeing yourself as enough? How have your relationship patterns been? What types of repetitive types of issues have there been in your relationships since your parents, since the things that have gone on with your parents and how that's affected you? We go through a lot of childhood wounds. We pick very challenging situations as advanced souls, so that way we can work through those things and we can actually help the ancestral lines heal. I can't stress that more, because some twins don't really realize that, or they don't realize it enough. We're healing our ancestors. That's why we've had the issues that we've had in our families, the dysfunctions or the abuses or feeling abandoned or neglected in some sort of way, having parents criticize us or just feeling like they were emotionally just not present. Maybe they were just so caught up in trying to keep things afloat within the home, right? Because there's been fears of lack throughout history, or there's been pressures of being successful throughout the family history. We heal so many things at the ancestral level, right? So go back to those things. My suggestion, if the communication is very erratic, if the communication is frustrating you, if there's been lack of communication or up and down and back and forth with first my twin wants me, then they don't want me. First my twin finally they're ready. They're ready to commit to this, and all of a sudden say a cosmic event comes along or something like that, and it's purging out more energy, and now, not ready, sorry, I'm not ready, you're not going to want somebody like me. You're just not going to want someone like me. I'm only going to let you down. I'm only going to disappoint. I'm only going to hurt you again. That's somebody who is still experiencing their shortcomings, their self-sabotage, their wounds from all their former relationships, the wounds from childhood, those false beliefs from those wounds, from those emotions. Those stories are coming up. That's what's stopping your twin from stepping into self-love and self-confidence and self-worth and value. Or they wouldn't question themselves like that. Or they wouldn't get angry or come at you in that way. Or not speak to you. Or not, make promises they couldn't keep or something like that. But remember, it's not about putting this on the twin. You guys are together. You're a unit. If you can take a look at those things for your own self, you'll benefit from that, of course. You'll be able to move on and not stop your life for your twin. You'll be able to step into your self-love and empowerment, peace, every day. You'll feel good about creating. You'll feel good about wanting to be discovering more of yourself, discovering more of your gifts and talents, and seeing how you can make that be a service for the world. You'll be so busy with that, and you'll be shining bright from that, and excited, and all involved with that, and feel good about helping people, that there'll be no time to sit and wait and worry about whether your twin flame has healed from their addictions or healed from their wounds or abuse. You won't worry about it. You'll just accept that both of you are at the point that you're at, and that it's just all about transforming, and then you guys are going to be in a different space at a different level. So if you're getting thrown off by the communication and feeling like it's never going to work or it's seemingly over, please know that that's fear. It's all fear. Okay? So I hope that kind of sheds some light. Just to note, I looked down, I saw 22:22 on my timer in my video. I know it's over it now, but I looked down and I saw it. It's just something really important to know, and if you do know it, to be reminded of, because I know those triggers come up and we get really just frustrated, but to know that everything has its place and that we're navigating our stuff, and when it's prepared, because we are now preparing, when it's prepared and the vibration is higher, we're going to have to deal a lot less with that, right? So it's moving in the right direction. And if your wheels are stuck in the mud, there's a way of getting them moving again. And if you need some extra help with that, I am here. theparanormalpriestess.com is the website. I offer an hour reading, which covers so much, and we get into all the details. I'm even able to provide tools and things to help you out. I have 30-minute check-ins also available. I usually recommend the hour because we really do need it, because there's lots of things that we get into if you're unsure about purpose, if you're unsure or having trouble about how to trust your twin again. You're having trouble about the things that we've talked about. Maybe you want to touch bases. We can certainly do, a reading session. And I'm also here to guide as well, so we can get that communication through from your team, from the angels. But if there's anything I can do to guide, I'm here also. So theparanormalpriestess.com. Please check in with me before purchasing any reading. Please email me first, and I will check to see if it's guided, if it's a vibrational match. And if so, then we can take it from there. From the heart of the darkness is born the light. Brightest blessings to all of you. Take good care. Stay well. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And please remember that you are where you're meant to be. Take care, everyone. See you soon.